So hello everybody, welcome to another video. So in this video I'm actually going to teach you guys how to set up the damage logic for the combat system or combat animation logic that we set last time. So yeah, I'm just going to teach you guys how to make your punches do damage basically. And okay, we're going to bounce off the wig that we did last time. So let's do this. So to do this, actually, we're going to use the hitbox method, and we've already used the hitbox method on this channel when we were working with the sword damage logic. It's going to be the exact same thing. So for those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically just whenever we're throwing a punch, we want this thing, which is called a hitbox, we want this thing to spawn in front of us, and any enemy that's inside this will be taking damage. So that's just the hitbox method, and this is actually the model that we're going to be using for today. So I'm just going to go here and rename it hitbox. I'm going to make sure to anchor it, and I'm going to change a couple of things, but this is trivial since at the end of the script this is going to be completely invisible. I'm only making it red because it makes it look cooler. But there's one thing that you guys need to change, and that's the can collide. You want to turn that to false because we don't want the enemy to collide with this part. We only want him to be able to touch it. So okay, that's going to be the hitbox model that we're working with. And to get into the damage logic, we're actually going to be going inside the script that we made last time. So just to summarize what we want to do, every time the event is fired, so every time we're throwing a punch, we want this hitbox to spawn in front of us, and anything that touches it, that's the enemy, is going to take damage. So to do that, we need to first define the original hitbox. So o hitbox is game.workspace.hitbox, and since we want this to spawn in front of us every time, we're just going to clone it. So local hitbox is original hitbox clone, and we're going to put it inside the game.workspace. So let's check and see if that works every time we're clicking. As you can see, the hitbox is getting cloned and placed inside the workspace, so that's good. Now we need to figure out how to orient it so that it spawns in front of us, and for that we need the humanoid root part, which is a line that I wrote here. I can write it again. So local root is just the player.character colon find first child humanoid root part. There you go. Now with the root part we can get the position, so just hitbox.position is equal to root.position. Now let's check and see if that works. So as you can see, this works perfectly. Now every time that we're clicking, it spawns like at our current position, but there's a problem. It's that sometimes it spawns behind us, and that's because it only spawns around our current position. We want it to actually spawn in front of us. So for that we need the cframe.look vector. So we just do plus root.cframe.look vector, and this vector, or I mean this line, just adds a vector which is the direction our character is looking. And to actually make it spawn in front of us, we need to add a magnitude, or just to multiply it by magnitude, and I'll just say times 100 to show you guys what it does. So now every time we punch, as you can see, it spawns in front of where we're looking, even though it spawns kind of far away because we did times 100. So to change that, or to make it more sense, I'm gonna put a value like 4, test that out, and as you can see, now it spawns in front of us. So that's really good. And okay, so now we got the spawn logic. We're also going to make sure that it deletes after a certain amount of time, and since we used a cooldown of 0.7 seconds, I'm going to go here and do the exact same thing. So task.wait 0.7 and hitbox colon destroy. So what should happen is before the other one gets to spawn, the previous one gets deleted. So that's perfect. Okay, now let's set the damage logic. So to do that, we need to detect whenever this hitbox is getting touched. So hb.touched connect function, and we have the other part argument. Now we want to check if that other part is part of a player, if this is part of a, that has a humanoid. So to do that, we just say local other humanoid is equal to other part dot parent find first child humanoid. Now other humanoid, we're going to use it as a boolean value if the other part dot parent, which in some cases is going to be a character, find first child humanoid, if it's true, then we want this other humanoid to take damage. So just if other humanoid, then other humanoid colon take damage 20. But there's still a couple things that we need to do. So as you can see now, every time that it spawns, we actually end up taking damage, and that's because the other humanoid can be equal to our humanoid. So to fix that, we just do if other humanoid and other humanoid is not equal to our humanoid, then so now every time we punch, it shouldn't do damage to us since we set it to not equal to us. Okay, so that works. We can test it with a dummy. So we just go to avatar, builder rig, blog avatar, and let's test and see if that works. So as you can see, we can in fact hit our opponents, but there's one thing is that he dies immediately, and that's because there are like multiple parts that are touching our hitbox. So to fix that, we just add a debounce. So local db equals true. We go here if other humanoid and other humanoid is not equal to us and debounce is true, then we set debounce to false, and we set it to true again once the task wait is done. So now let's check and see if it works. Our dummy should be taking 20 damage at a time, and it works perfectly. Now to finalize this, all we need to do is turn this completely transparent. And let's hop in the game, and as you can see, this works completely fine. The dummy is taking 20 damage at a time. So that's basically it for this video. It was really short and simple. You figure out how to make a combat system that does damage. Now, advanced combo systems with knockbacks and kicks and abilities or parts that do special damage, that's going to be for future videos. For now, we just kept it like really simple, a really basic combat system. You can try this out with your friends, and yeah, so that's basically the first part for making a combat game. So yeah, thank you for being here. Bye.